Yeah, they have the 65 plus exemption, and you can search that on Stewart Title. You have that option to do that. Again, it doesn't matter if they're absentee owners or non-absentee owners, as long as they have 65 plus exemption, you can mail to these people.
That's
Okay.
why my mom gets all those postcards that she gives to me.
Okay, real quick, is there a method to the madness? Like, is there an order? Is you kind of put the list down, or is it just kind of, these are the ones, like, should you start at the absentee? Not should start, but like, that's the most easily to access, and then afterwards out of state, or is it just kind of?
Yeah, it depends. If you have a smaller marketing budget, then start with the smaller list and do those. And then if you have a bigger marketing budget, you can test the bigger list. But yeah, all of the lists I've given you so far are pretty good lists to mail to. Okay. All right. The next list is the I call them functional obsolete, right? The one-bedroom homes, like, they're not functional anymore. So a lot of these, you're not going to find a lot of them. Most of them are sort of tear down, much older neighborhood built in like 1950s and before that. That's when they had the one-bedroom homes. Nobody wants these homes, so you get them for really cheap. Okay, and then you either convert the garage, build addition, tear it down, put a new house if it's in a if it's in one of those nicer areas. So that's a.
Are you trying to save questions till the end, or can we ask?
You can ask.
Okay. If you get a couple of small lists and you're going to send them postcards and you get a big list, do you want to combine those all, or do you want to send them separately? If that makes sense, because we're going to use the same postcard template, correct? So we can combine all of our lists. If we get a big 65,000
Yeah, you can.
person list, but if we get, like a 10,000 person list, 1,000 for free and clear, 1,000 for retiree, then we can send 12,000 postcards.
Yeah, you can.
That's okay.
Yeah. Generally these kind of lists, you don't have to get more specific into the message yet, but when you get into like probate, or divorce, you might target your message into them more. So yeah, you can do a broadcast one, like the generic postcards, and then you can send a letter that goes specific into the situation. All right. Probate list. For those of you who don't know what probate is, basically it's just the legal process for the heirs to get title to the property. Okay. Very similar to the estate list, except for probate list is before it gets transferred to the estate. Like they're still in that process of doing all the filing and stuff. Again, the borrowers that not the borrowers, I'm sorry, their inheritance that inherit these houses, they much rather money, they much rather cash than the property. All right.
How do we describe it?
There's a website called foreclosehouston.com. They recently started selling probate lists, so you can subscribe to them and get it from them. Or in the members area, AC actually did a training video that teaches you how you can research and do pulling your own probate leads that you can mail to.
Tim, I came in late. Is all this in the website and the members area?
No, this is not, but I will. We're recording. I'll upload the video and the spreadsheet, mind map in there for you guys. All right. Next list is the divorce list. Of course, these are homeowners who file for divorce. This list is much harder to get. You have to go down to the go to county clerk's office or part. I don't know if they have it on the website that you can do it yet. they probably do now. I know back then they didn't have it. But yeah, you just, it's a little bit harder. Number one, you gotta look for all the divorce filing. And then you gotta look to see if there's any properties in the divorce. And then from there, you mail it to them. Because a lot of time, couples who are going through divorce, they generally, there's a mortgage on it. So they just wanna, sell the house, pay off the mortgage and split up the money. That's generally speaking.
So it's like people that have filed for divorce and then they're waiting to get divorced.
Right,
It's those people that, okay.
yeah.
And when you say the county clerk's office, I mean, would it be like the family law building in downtown?
No, no, family law building is just the place where they auction off the house. The county clerk's is across the street from it.
Okay,
But you don't even have to go downtown. There's
there's annexes.
annexes that you can go to.
Downtown, it's at 301 Caroline.
Yeah, 301 Caroline. So yeah, but it's, the county clerk's is where all the filings happens, filing
And that's
for
public
DBAs.
record?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, divorce filing are public records. Same thing with probate filing.
That's good.
Okay, another great list that I don't know why I put it down here, but it probably should be up here as one of the top lists to go after. I'll just put it up here. All right. Yeah, it's definitely, so you're looking for homeowners who are, who are delinquent on the taxes for a year or more, okay?
Do you have a dollar amount?
No,
No?
no, not really. You can narrow it down if you want into the zip codes that you're going after, or the type of homes, or like the year built of the home, so, so same thing, you're looking for delinquent of all the houses that are built in 1990 and older. So that way you will, yeah. There's not only they're financially distressed, but maybe the property is also in distress too. So you hit the combination of both of those things.
Well, I got one of these CDs from Montgomery County. I mean, there's a lot on there.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, you wouldn't send a letter to someone that's only like $1,700 behind, would you?
Well,
Depends on the value.
if they're behind on their county, chances are they're also behind on their MUD, chances are behind on the ISD. And so it's not just 1,700, it's 1,700 times 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a lot of cases, but yeah, as long as, I mean, and if like you said, if you have a lot, then you can start with people who own, let's say you get people who own 2 years or 3 years or more, and see how big that list is. So let's say you're going to start with everyone who owns 3+ years of delinquent taxes, and then after you mail to them, you go to everyone who owns 2 to 3 years. And then, and then 1 to 2 years. So you can do that, so that way you can start small, and then test out that list and go wide. But this is also, tax delinquent is another one of those proven lists that works really well. Okay? All right. I'm gonna move some of these up. These, I think the reason why I put them here. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna move these around so that way it's sort of in the order. What should I do? Okay, I'll just keep that there. It's in the order of what I like. Code violation list is also another great list. You know, the code violation, whenever there's a code violation, there's before the hearing and after the hearing. So these people, you know, who own homes that have code violation, generally speaking, they're older, you know, older neighborhood. I typically only mail to the people after the hearing. So once they get a notice, there's a trial date for a hearing. And so, you know, a lot of people will fix up their house, you know, before that hearing happens. But there are people who you know, haven't fixed up the house after the hearing already happened. Those are the people that I go after. You get that list. It's funny what we call it here in Houston, but if you call 311, ask them for the dangerous building departments. And they'll yeah. Depending on, I haven't pulled this list in a while, but the way it used to be, it's like if someone already pulled that list, then they charge you very inexpensively to give you the list. But if no one has pulled that list yet for that month or for that period that you're looking for, and they have to do it for you, then they'll charge you, I forget how much per hour. I think it would, yeah. So if someone just pull it, your cost could be $1 to get that list. If you're the one who pulls it, your cost could be $75 to pull the list. It's like that. Okay. So yeah. But it's a great list. It's one of those another one of those proven lists to mail to. Okay. Another list that I like a lot is the fire damage list. Fire damage properties, a lot of people don't get into them because they need tons of repairs. Most of your rehabbers stay away from them. And so not a lot of people work on fire damage properties, but man, my best deals, like the deals that I made the most amount of money are the fire damage deals, even better than the probate deals.
Our biggest assignment was from a fire deal.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, the biggest assignments are going to come from the fire damage deals. What happens with fire damage, especially when there's a big fire damage, and this is the same thing with mold as well, when there's anything that has a big insurance claim, chances are the insurance company already paid for it. Right? Already paid for the mortgage, and now the seller owns it free and clear. And anytime a seller owns it free and clear, they'll sell it to you very cheap. Okay, and I mean, some of these fire damage properties, like I get the house for lot value or even less. I got into one of my rental houses, got into a fire damage where the tenant's charger, phone charger, I guess is defective or what, so started the fire during the day when he was at work.
They tell you not to buy those off-brand Apple chargers.
Yeah, so about, I would say, a third of the house, the back of the house, like burned pretty bad. So the front of the house looks good. The back doesn't look so good. So the mortgage company already paid me off. Now I have the house free and clear, right? And I get, because I bought more than what the claim was for more than what I owed on the house. So I already got cash I got my mortgage paid off, I got a chunk of cash, and I sold that house for $33,000. So, I mean, just great. And I did several fire damage that was really good. And a lot of time, if it's very burnt, where it's like a tear down, you can get the seller to just give it to you. They'll deed you the house, the lot, because it costs them money to tear it down. And if they don't tear it down, the city's going to tear it down, charge them $10,000. So, so it's like, look, here's your option. You can let the city tear it down and charge you $10,000, or, I can just take it over and your problems are solved. Okay. So, fire damage, for the city of Houston, they charge you $5 per day worth of incidents. So they give you all the fire incidents from around the city of Houston for $5 a day. So if you get 30 days worth, you know, whatever, 5 times 30 is $150, right? And
So you just pick a day?
no,
What do you mean by
I pull by
$5?
month.
Okay.
Yeah, but they charge you $5 a day. Like how many? Like if you want 1 week's worth of data or 1 day's worth of data, okay? And I only mail to people that has on the report. It'll tell you what was the estimated damage. So I mail to people who has 40,000 or more in damage.
And that was from the city of Houston again?
Yeah, city of Houston.
And where do you get that?
You just call the fire marshal department. I don't have a phone number, but yeah. For the Harris County, you know how you have city of Houston and you have Harris County. For Harris County, it's free, but their list is much smaller. It's not as big as the city of Houston list.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, there's more fires in the city than the county?
Yeah, because it's outside the city limit. It's under Harris County, but outside the city limit. So it's out like, well, yeah, yeah.
So you think there's more
And you
incidents?
Yeah, it's less.
Wow.
I think maybe there's more fire in the city.
It's that little delta between the city of Houston and then Harris County, so which Houston takes up most of Harris County, but it's all those little.
You just let them know, hi, I'm an investor, this is what I do.
Oh, they don't care. Just say, hey, you know, I want to, yeah, how can I get access to the fire incident report? That's what it's called, fire incident report. And yeah, and they'll tell you that they'll sell it. Okay. And then of course, you can do the same thing for any county. If you're gonna work Montgomery County or Fort Bend County or Brazoria County, you can do the same thing. Okay.
Do you ever work like homicide or drug houses, any of those other sorts of things?
I haven't done those like those when they confiscate the house.
Oh, yeah.
Drugs.
What are they called?
Those are DEA properties, right?
Yeah, DEA properties. Yeah, I haven't done those, but yeah. I mean,
You might find free drugs in the attic.
I think those are on.
It's an assignment.
Just don't get caught.
Look, I'm selling you.
all right. Another great list as well is a vacant houses list. The U.S. Postal Service a few years ago started, you know, because marketers were spending tons of money and wasting tons of money delivering their mail to non-deliverable addresses. So the postal office came up with a way to help save them money. So they provided a list of all the addresses that are non-deliverable. It was, oh, thank you so much. It was meant to save the money, but then it's good use for us, right? Because now that's a vacant house that we can go after. It's, you know, the UPS doesn't sell it directly on their website. Kind of hard to find, but the company that compiled that list and sell it is findmotivatedsellersnow.com.
Do you think a postman might be able to get a hold of that list?
I don't think so. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that postmen can't do for you because of privacy reasons. But a lot of them don't even know about that list exists. So.
How much is this
Yes.
list?
Well, if you buy it from Find Motivate Sellers Now, I think they charge like $800 for a year, something like that. Some of these lists, if y'all just want to try it out before you buy them, just let me know and I'll pull the list for you because I have accounts for pretty much everything. A lot of things I share with you here, so that way you can test it out before you pay for it and get your own list. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So next is pre-foreclosure list. In today's market, not so much, you know, because in today's market, your foreclosure list is like, I mean, houses selling so fast, you know. People, sellers are able to sell them before they lose the house in foreclosure. So foreclosure list has shrunk quite a bit. However, if you are into short sales, it's a great list. Pre-foreclosures is a great list for short sales.
You think it's,
Huh?
you think it's profitable to get into short sales for us right now at this time?
No,
Market?
yeah, I mean, short sales, you really need someone dedicated. You know, when I was doing short sales, I was doing like 15, 20 short sales a month. I had a full-time person doing nothing but short sales.
Yeah,
Because those deals takes forever to,
totally, man, because you got to keep following up
Yeah.
with them and talking to them. I got one done out of the 10 that I tried, but they were very, very tedious. Like
Yeah.
you had to keep following up with them and keep talking, calling them back. Yeah, maybe you could have like a little assistant or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
follow
you
up.
either
That's-
have somebody or you find someone you can partner up with and outsource it to them to do it.
There's a couple of companies out there that you can refer the short sales to, and then they'll pay you like $1,000 if they're able to get the deal done. But they have like a team of staff. They have a team
Yeah.
in place that actually follows up with the mortgage companies and stuff. But they'll
Yeah.
pay you like $1,000.
Yeah, short sales, you know, especially in today's market, short sales would be profitable if you have like you have an agent on your team, so that way, if you can't get cheap enough as an investor, you can just sell it to a MLS buyer. Then at least you can make money as a commission. So if you have an agent on your team and having them take care of the short sale, then yeah, you know, it might be worth it. Okay. What I did for the pre-foreclosure list, I send them. You guys all seen those business checks, right? Do you ever, any of you print your own checks? Okay. If you print your own check, you know you buy those like Versa checks at the Home Office Depot and stuff. So that's what I did. I bought those checks and I print them, and then I put them into the is it called number 10 window envelope, right? Where they can see like pay to the order of. And then where the signature is, I put, you know, call me at this number to get this check signed. You know, so I'll send out, you know, depending on how much equity they have, I'll send out $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 check to them. And you'll be surprised of how many calls I get from banks, people trying to cash the check. And I, you know, in the beginning, I wanted to make it look like a real check. So I actually like put in the account number, so it looks like a real account number, which, and several of those checks actually got cashed.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, the banks call me up after they already gave out the money. It's like it's just a, you know, it's just
Did the
a
bank get pissed at
promotional
you?
check. It's not a real check. So after that happened, I just went in and put the account everything zeros, so that way they can't make that kind of mistake.
Or that guy is getting screwed.
The teller, I mean, the bank will make the teller pay for it. Like the
Oh,
teller can
serious?
cash the check,
Oh,
yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's why
Yeah.
it's so hard
Teller's
to cash a check
responsible.
nowadays.
Never lose.
They get the money from the government too.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny how often that happens. Yeah, like especially when something that, you know, people go to teller, the teller's not careful, or the overnight deposit back then, like they get through those overnight deposits.
So now, who are you sending these to?
People who are in people who are in pre-foreclosure, meaning the house can be foreclosed on soon. Here in Houston, you know, the foreclosure is on the first Tuesday of each month. Okay, so last week was one. Last Tuesday was a closure. Okay, so you can get that list from foreclosehouston.com. Okay, another list that I also like a lot, especially again if you do short sales, is a bankruptcy list. So you find like people who file bankruptcy for 3 to 9 months, because that's, a lot of people get kicked out of bankruptcy after a few months of being into it. They can't afford to pay for it. Chapter 13 bankruptcy, basically, if you don't know, Chapter 13 bankruptcy is like a payment plan. So they take everything that you owed, all your like back payments and stuff, and they create a payment plan for you. And in Chapter 7 it's liquidation, right? So they sell everything off to pay for it. And then so H filing 3 to 9 months, or if they filed a motion to relief or motion for dismissal, then those are also the list. So pacer.gov is where you get the list. It's pretty inexpensive. It's 10 cents per page. But it is some work, because you have someone who filed bankruptcy, but you don't know if they own a house or not. So you have to do research to see whether or not they own a house. And then, so it's a little bit more work. And then post-bankruptcy, these are people who just got kicked out of bankruptcy. So for whatever reason, they were not able to pay, their payment plan in the bankruptcy. They get kicked out of it. It's called dismiss. Yeah. So there's a term dismiss and discharge. Discharge is when they already finished their bankruptcy, and their bankruptcy ends. That's discharge. But if they get kicked out of bankruptcy, it's called dismissed. Again, pacer.gov is the website. Foreclosed Houston has some of them. They don't have a lot, but they do have some. So, and the cool thing about going through Foreclosed Houston on this one is they already did that research on whether or not they own a house. So you get a cleaner list. Recent eviction notices, right? So, if you look at a lot of houses that you buy, they're tight landlords. And so, great way to find tight landlords before they become too tired, before others people hit them, is when they file eviction notices. This one takes more work because there's not a centralized place, right? Every precinct works differently. You have to go to that precinct, file an eviction notice. So what I had to do was I went to the precinct and did, and took a notepad with me and write it down. So you can do, or now with your cell phone, you can just take a picture of that. So you can flip through the pages much faster. It's a notebook, literally, it's a notebook of all these filings. So you just snap, page through. There's a little bit more work, but again, if it's one of those areas that you farm in, it's a great strategy.
And each precinct has 2 places.
Each
that's right,
precinct
yeah,
has 2
2
places.
offices.
So yeah, more work, but so if you have interns, you have bird dogs, this is a great thing to send them to do. Anything that's lake work, like send your interns, send your bird dogs out there. If you don't know how to find them, come to our networking. Let people know you're looking for interns. Like tons of people want to come work with you. If you have done any deals, like people want to come work with you. Especially if you want to, if you have gotten up here, you've been on the panel, or if you've gotten deals that you presented. When you present your deal, you can just tell them, hey, I'm looking for an intern, or I'm looking for an apprentice. If you're interested, come see me. You'll recruit a lot of them. We have people coming here asking to intern for us all the time. Yeah.
You have to turn them away.
Yeah. Anytime you have more people, generally will cause more complication in your system.
Yeah.
So whenever your system has more people, it's more complex. So it's not as easy to automate as if you have a business that has nobody or very few people. Much easier to automate. So we generally don't deal with bird dogs too much, but you starting out, it's a great way. Okay. All right, next, the 60, 90 days late mortgage. These are people who are 60 or 90 days late on their mortgage. These data is coming straight from the credit bureau. So it's a very delicate data, a lot of privacy stuff around it. So tons of regulations and disclosures that has to happen when you mail into these people, such as, you have to have a broker's a license to mail to them. You have to disclose that, there's like this whole disclosure they have to say as part of it. You can only mail to them one time, like each list, you can only mail to them one time, you can't repeat your mailing to them. So there's a lot of regulations, but dmleadsource.com is it's a great place that will point you in the right direction. They might be able to, they recently came out with a list that is similar to the 60 to 90 late with less regulation that you can get into. But these people are not as, they're not as motivated as the pre-foreclosure or the bankruptcy, where they're much further along in that process. But still, they're a great list. Okay. Expired listings is another list. These people who can't sell their homes on the MLS. If you're dealing with pretty houses, if you're doing like John Jackson type of strategy, selling, lease option, owner financing type homes, expired listing is a great list to go after. The thing with expired listing is that you have tons of competition with other realtors because other realtors are trying to relist them. All right, another list is just, farming the area. Like if like Jason was saying, I do energy corridor, then, you can just farm that whole area. If you farm like A-Leaf or, Mission Band or Spring, like, if you're farming an area, you send out to the whole zip code. When I'm farming an area, I like door-to-door flyers much more than I like mailing to a zip code. Or even I've even tried the Every Door direct mail, and that didn't produce well at all. I like what I do with the door-to-door is I have they print out these I don't have any here, but so I print them out and I make them look like a UPS notice. It'll say notice and then it has a message on it. In sort of that brownish paper. And then I tape it on their door. Like that gets a lot more attention. I get a lot more calls from those.
On every door.
On every door, yeah.
Just like, hey, I'd like to make you a cash offer. I close in 30 days.
Something like that.
Yeah, closing costs.
And so that, whenever I do that, I get like the only thing about that strategy is you will get a lot of calls. So unless you farm that area, you don't want that many calls. Because of course, along with a lot of calls is a lot of tire kickers. But it's a great strategy when you're farming. All right, adjustable rate mortgages. These lists you have to buy. But basically, people who has a mortgage for 3 to 5 years with 70% or less LTV, that means that the mortgage is about to adjust. Okay, and so they might consider selling the property because especially if they can't refinance. And if you remember the subprime market, a lot of people who have adjustable rate mortgages are your subprime borrowers, and majority of the loans that went default were the subprime borrowers' loan. So a lot of those people go to foreclosure. So that's another list that you can go after. There's this website called usleadlist.com. They just call their list investment property list. I don't know exactly what their criteria is, but it's also one of those lists that produced money for me in the past. That you might want to give it a. It's kind of pricey though. It's not cheap. But yeah, I don't know how they compile their list, but usleadlist.com. All right, and of course, mailing to a multifamily like plexes, not necessarily apartment buildings, but plexes with equity is also a great list to go after because not a lot of people go after them. Like 2plexes, triplex, 4plex, 5plex, 8plex. There's not a lot of people going after them, so yeah, it's a great list to go after as well. Okay, so there you have it. That's a really good list of lists.
Wow. You just accelerated our businesses like 5 years.
Okay.
Busy for a long time.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
I have a feeling this is just scratching the surface here, Tim. That's the feeling I get.
It is.
Whenever you present something like this, I'm like, this is just the surface stuff.
Like what else is?
What else is, it's excellent, and there's always another layer. What's the other layer?
Yeah. Well, with this business, yeah, you can, there's a lot of different ways that you can find deals. It really has to do with the volume that you're going after. If you're not going after a very big volume, a lot of times you don't have to go all of these lists at all. And for most of you, that's the case. Like I know, as much as as cool as $1 million is, for a lot of people, making a couple $100,000, I know it's like awesome. Like, and so for $200,000, you don't need to explore all of these lists really, right? But when there are some of you that wants to take your business a lot bigger than that, and so exploring a lot of these lists, and then once you start mailing to these people, once you start testing it, there's always more to do for sure. All right. So we touch on internet marketing. Like I said, we're not gonna go too much into it today. We'll do another workshop where I'll teach you guys how to kick off a Google pay-per-click campaign very quickly. In a few minutes you can have a lead up running. At the end of the day, don't let all of these leads, all of these different marketing and lists complicate the business for you. Our business is really simple. It's like, how many people know what you do? And how much did it cost you for them to know what you do? Right? So, like I said, my threshold is $3,000 a deal. So if the marketing, if the marketing is cheaper than $3,000 a deal, I'm okay with that. So I'll continue to do that marketing until it costs me more. Then I'll venture into other marketing. So you really don't need to do a lot of different lists, a lot of different marketing. You don't have to. Unless you do like what my friend does, 150 deals a month. Yes, you have to do a lot of different lists, a lot of different marketing. But that's very rare. Like most people don't do that kind of volume. And so yeah, you just find out what works, find what works, and you just keep doing that until it costs you too much and it's not worth it anymore. Then you go do something else. This is one of those times where the Chinese got it right. Like if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So yeah. All right. Of course, there's bonus marketing strategies that you can use, like Craigslist, like word of mouth marketing. This is a really important one. I found an old business card. This is actually was my acquisition list. I'll pass it to you. It's a $100 bill. Folded up, and then when you open it up, it has a message. So it talks about we buy houses, and it also talks about if if you refer somebody, we'll pay you as well. So, so yeah, just something different than a normal business card. Yeah, like that, right? Yeah, you went order it. Great job. Yeah, something different. It's good. Okay. Yeah, but word of mouth is like, I mean, you should always work that, like work it like crazy. The most powerful word of mouth marketing company that I know is a lot of you guys know this company called Landmark. It's I don't know what they did in 2013, but in 2012 they did $88 million with $0 in marketing. 100% of it was word of mouth marketing. Like that's the power of word of mouth marketing. If you like do it right? So take advantage of it, and just let everyone in your life know that you buy and sell houses. Give everybody your $100 bills, right? Yeah, how much did it cost you to print those?
$129, I think, for 500.
$129 for 500.
Right.
How much is that per card?
Oh, per 100?
Per card.
129 per 100? So that's like
23 cents.
point.
For 500.
So like
129 for 500
like
cards.
six.
Yeah,
6
so-
cents or something?
So when it folds up, it looks like this,
26 cents.
like a stack of $100 bills. How much?
26 cents.
26 cents? Yeah, not bad. Right, that's pretty good.
I used to get the ones like you have, Tim, the folded one.
Yeah.
And I buy 10,000 at a time, and I throw them around. I just I lay them on the, I drop them on the floor. I walk down the.
Make it rain.
I walk into places and
Yeah,
drop them
that's-
on the floor. as
Yeah,
I
that's a
walk.
great idea.
You would pick them up. I think it's money.
Yeah.
Where would you
Looks
throw
like
it?
$100 bill.
Everywhere. I just, wherever I was walking, I just drop it. Like breadcrumbs.
Is it
You turn around, look behind you, and everybody's on the ground.
Yeah.
Breadfruit.
Yeah,
Because they were
you
so
guys
cheap.
pass those business cards around so you look at it. Yeah, other investors, always, like when, even if you don't have any deals, okay, this is a secret for you. You always want to position yourself. Positioning is extremely important. Always position yourself as a player in the market, right?
Yeah.
Always position yourself as as an authority in the market. What does that mean? That means that always have deals for sale, even when you don't have deals for sale. Okay? If you don't have deals for sale, you go to Hugo and say, hey Hugo, you got some deals, right? Let me help you sell your deals. And now you can market Hugo's deal, and now it looks like it's your deal. Right? So you go to places Hugo don't go to, and you pass out flyers. And so when I first got started, everywhere I went, I always had deals to sell. Whether they're my deals or someone else's deals, I always had deals to sell. And so I got tons of people giving me their business cards all the time. I became known in the marketplace really fast, right? People look to me. So I tell people, it's like, hey, I buy and sell houses. You need help getting started? Let me know. I'll split deals with you. So I turned tons of people into bird dogs. Doug Smith was one of my bird dogs back in the days. Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, like always, know how to position yourself, and then do some deals so you can get on the panel, like get in front of the room, right, and start teaching something, right? Start sharing. Whenever you teach, like you become like instant authority. And so credibility is huge. But leverage other investors. If they have deals to sell, sell to your buyers. So find ways to have buyers that they don't have, right? For example, if I want to, just like how I said that, the MLS, you're able to sell it for a lot more. Like one of the things I could do is I can just go to other wholesalers and start buying deals from them, and then post it on the MLS and sell them. right?
That's what I was talking about earlier, by the way. There's always one layer deeper.
Yes,
I'm not even
okay.
Well, there's a couple wholesalers out there now that are doing that, but they're not doing it on the MLS, they're sending them out to other, on blast.
Yeah, but see, that's still limit, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do that, put it on the MLS, you know,
Yeah, you get a lot more.
you sell it a lot more. Alright, you know, bird dogs, like I said, you know, start recruiting bird dogs to go find you deals. You can even run ads on Craigslist, you know, looking for property locators, you know, so they can find, like I got a kid came here the other day. He's like, hey Tim, you know, he was at the networking. He's like, hey Tim, you know, yeah, is there anything I can help you? I used to be a collection. I used to work at a collection agency for 7 years, so I know a lot about skip tracing and finding people and calling them. It's like, great, we have a bunch of return postcards, go to work on. So that's what I did, had him do. Right, so if you've been doing direct mail, chances are you've got tons of return postcards that these people can do. You know, put them to work. All right, other marketing that you can do, signs. Right? I didn't talk too much about bandit signs. I put them into others. It's because you know of the legality and the legality issues behind it. But yeah, signs is a great strategy. You know, TV, radio, billboards. Okay. I'm not going to explain too much about those things. And then you know, distress MOS. If you have properties on the MOS that needs a lot of repairs, like 30,000 or more, and has 90+ days of market, you should track those and make offers on those. Because a lot of times, you know, when the house needs a lot of repairs, you know, other buyers stay away from them, or because people were asking. See, the thing with buyers on the MOS is they're not good with lowballing. You know, because guess who's making the offers? Another agent. An agent hates, they're not in this business. They don't want to negotiate. Like if they have to, they prefer not to negotiate. So they hate to lowball on an offer.
On Saturday, I was looking for properties on MLS that were like over, I wasn't doing over 90, but it was like over 100 days. And I sent out some lowball offers. I got back some nasty emails. There's one listed for 159. I sent 99,000. You know, it was in great condition, but they were like, "Thank you for your low blow offer. Our counter is 159. Your asking price, 2,500 earnest money, and close at Sugarland title." And I was like,
Sugarland.
yeah, I was like, didn't mean to be offensive.
No, that's when you follow up the email, because we get some of those phone calls, and it's like, you know what, it sounds like you're not really motivated to sell a house. There's only one reason why a property didn't sell, right? It's not, it's priced too high. So you give me a call when you're ready to be more reasonable.
Yeah.
Because the market's telling you you're not very reasonable.
And the other thing was, it was exactly what you said. It was a 1-bedroom. So I was like, who's gonna want to buy that at 159? You know.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's
So
good.
I was like,
Did you get-
Yeah, so you
got something?
follow up
They
with
just gave you
those.
an ugly response.
Yeah, but-
You know, the good thing about those ugly responses is typically they come to you over the phone or via email. It's very hard for them to punch you in the nose when they,
Yeah.
you know. So, what do you care?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I always look at a lowball offer. What do I care? I don't care if I get a small, you know.
Yeah,
When I started out a couple of years ago, I had a one-page document, and it had like I set up a separate Gmail email, and I set up a Google Voice number, and I said, hey, my company is seriously interested in buying this property with serious cash buyers, and we want to buy it for this amount. So it already filled out. All I had to do was just fill in the price. And I used to submit maybe 30, 40 of those to agents. And I actually got one deal out of it, actually like a few months. But I used to get some nasty emails back. But the email was totally set up strictly for the response from the agents.
yeah.
And I ended up getting a deal. I got one deal out of it.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a smart point.
Yeah, normally I don't lowball pretty houses. I only lowball ugly, like houses that needs a lot of
Some nasty
repairs.
responses.
They, you
So
know,
I set it up.
it's
So-
justifiable that you,
Email for
that
it.
you lowball them because they need a lot of repairs. But on newer houses, on nicer
This
houses.
one was beautiful, but it was
Yeah.
1 bedroom, and I'm like, who's gonna pay $159 for a 1
Right,
bedroom?
that's
Who's the
good.
lonely guy out there?
Yeah, yeah, and then, other sources like, HUD Homes. HUD Home was doing well, not so much anymore unless you're buying and you're wholesaling it, then it's still good. But if you're not wholesaling it, then HUD Homes is not a good strategy. You can't really buy it at an investor price anymore. Of course, driving for dollars, you guys are all very familiar with that. So I'm not going to go into too much into that. All right. So that's marketing. Yay. So, who are the people on your team, right? You have your acquisition people. Chances are you're this manager right now. You're not going to outsource it anytime soon. But when you do, then you got to account for that. And then, and then you have acquisition specialist or acquisitionist. And then interns, virtual assistants, answering service. This is pretty much just the team that you need to do this $1 million business. Okay, you don't need a whole lot more than that. All right. My 3 biggest tips for you. Number 1 is be coachable. Like if you look at any of the people in our group that does really well really fast, is they're the type that's very coachable. Like you tell them what to do and boom, they just go do it. They don't question it. They just it's like blind faith. Like, you know what? It's gonna work because Tim and AC said it's gonna work. But they just go out there and do it. So be coachable, and don't stay stuck. What that means is that. I have some more notes here. So be careful with, especially if you're more experienced. Be careful with I already know that. Oh, I already know that doesn't work, or I've tried it and it didn't work.